Good morning and welcome to Get Real America.
Where we're getting real, getting down to the real stories and giving you not just the tip of the iceberg, but the whole enchilada, so to speak.
Yes, and asking some questions this morning about a missing 20-month-old little boy.
Yeah, we've got the Greek festival starting today. And meanwhile, we have a lot of law enforcement agencies, volunteers, and others who are looking for a 20-month-old child. They keep saying he's one, it's 20 months, and that makes a difference. At this stage of life, of how much larger they are at 20 months and just at 1 years old. But a young man by the name of Quentin Simon disappeared about 6 o'clock yesterday. So he's been gone for about a little better than 24 hours now, Brittany.
Yeah, so 6 in the morning yesterday.
6 o'clock 6 o'clock in the morning. And according to Chief Jeff Hadley of the Chatham County Police Department, they say that all options are still a possibility. What interests me and the questions that I have: why hasn't an Amber Alert been issued? And the only excuse that I heard this morning on the news was that they have to be absolutely sure that this was a kidnapping before they can issue an Amber Alert. Excuse me?
With a child this young, I don't think it matters. I think they should have already issued one. I think
Absolutely.
The other thing is the child wasn't reported missing until 9 a.m. There's a 3-hour time gap there. There's been no explanation as to why or what the child was doing at 6 a.m. Could he have snuck out the door, or is this something bigger? We don't know. I think there are still a lot of questions to be asked in order to figure out where this child is.
But they've had helicopters in the air with heat. Heat sensitive thermal equipment looking for him. They've had volunteers that have come out of the woodwork that are looking for him. All sorts of questions that we have that haven't been answered on any of the reports that we've seen. Have they gone door to door in the neighborhood?
Yeah, a lot of missing children
living nearby.
Yep. A lot of missing children end up in neighbors' homes, especially ones missing this young. So
have they searched the house itself? Remember the Jean Bonnet story?
Yes.
They were searching for her for hours, and finally somebody found her in a basement somewhere in the laundry room.
Yes, I mean, there's still some questions about how long she had been there, but like I said, I have a lot of questions, and there's a lot of missing information from the original story of kind of what led up to the disappearance of this child.
The next question I have, Brittany, if there's been no Amber Alert, how did the FBI get involved? They said the FBI has gotten involved in this. Why?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They have a lot of people involved. I mean, there's multiple agencies involved, which also can complicate things and make things very, watered down. So I'm not sure how the FBI got involved or where this is going. Like I said, there are a lot of missing pieces to this story that we still need to know details on in order to, honestly locate this child.
It happened on Burkhalter Road in Savannah, and they said a fluid situation. That he was last seen. Quentin was wearing a light blue Sesame Street shirt, not Sesame Seed, Sesame Street shirt, and also black pants when he disappeared from his home on the Burkhalter Road. So. Said the many experts on the scene, the sheriff's office and the FBI bloodhounds have been out. Neighbors and other people who've just heard about the story have volunteered to start looking for him as well. This is strange.
Very strange, especially, okay, does the child have shoes on? It's getting cold. It was cold. Mm-hmm. I mean, for a little baby like that, it's pretty cold. And he's 20 months. He's technically a toddler, but he's a very small child.
So any information that you have, you can just, call 911 immediately, call the Chatham County Chatham County Police Department. They seem to be the one leading. That's Chief Jeff Hadley, one of my favorite people, is leading the investigation on this. So we'll see. But God knows, we hope they find him alive. This is, as the old saying goes, parents' worst nightmare.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, if you have any information, get in touch with the police immediately.
And another big of a parent's worst nightmare is public schools.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Bill, we had a school board meeting yesterday.
Yes.
We also had an incident at a local high school here in Windsor Forest, sorry. And they were on lockdown. There was not one mention of this at the school board meeting yesterday.
Yeah, so a gun was found, and there was some sort of altercation in the cafeteria. This happened about 11 o'clock, I believe. Mm-hmm. Some sort of altercation in the cafeteria. And some of the students saw a gun, and of course, many of them were getting out, and they wanted to make sure they recorded this on their phones. But the person responsible has been detained, shall we say?
Yes, and this brings up a lot of concerns, and I don't know what the answer is to this bill. I would hate to see us put in metal detectors into all schools. It feels very like you're a criminal.
Yeah,
all the time, and I don't want kids to feel that way, but we definitely have to take accountability as parents and making sure that our children are not taking guns to school.
Yeah. After 9/11, everybody in the world was considered a criminal instead of just going after the real ones.
Yeah.
I was always amused at that El Al didn't have as much sophisticated stuff for tracking down terrorists as we did, but they asked a lot of questions of people getting on the airplane.
Yes.
Like, why are you going to Chicago for 3 days and you're not checking any baggage? It just
common sense type stuff.
Little stuff like that. So I hate to see our schools go into what would actually be almost a criminal facility where you've got these metal detectors that they have to have. I don't know the answer these days. We don't have a lot of kids. We have a lot of too many single parent homes, and God loves single parent moms for the most part. But honest to goodness, without dads around, things are getting a lot worse.
Yes, we definitely need men to step up and be fathers these days. And something else that came up at the school board meeting. Of course, there's still a lot of backlash against these pornographic books. I actually did attend the school board meeting yesterday, Bill, and I had something prepared for me, and I couldn't read it because I was too embarrassed. And the fact that our kids have access to this information is shocking, and that they're being exposed to this pornographic material in the schools. So that was a big topic of conversation yesterday, as it is at every school board meeting, I believe, since earlier this year.
So you didn't read it?
No, I did make a statement, though, and, told them my thoughts and feelings on it, and the fact that I would like them to take action because, at least since January of 2022, this has been a topic at every single school board meeting, and they have yet to address it. It's never been a topic for the board to talk about. So I just asked them to, really look at what they could do to change the policy to protect our kids, because as adults, that is our main job, is to protect children, and it's because they cannot protect themselves.
Doesn't seem to be the main job anymore. It seems to be to destroy our children. And
yes.
these books are pathetic.
They're
are extremely graphic. They are. You would normally be arrested if you had this book in your house and you were showing it to a child.
If you gave it to a child as a private citizen, you would be arrested for distributing pornography.
Contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yep, there's a lot of charges that could come based on these books. So that was a big topic. They are looking at approving some sexual education stuff next month, so it's important that people get involved. There's a big discussion of, the opt-in versus opt-out. I think that parents should have to opt into a lot of these things because, parents are busy. They don't have if they're automatically opted in, they're probably not going to think about having to opt out of something. So I think that there should be an opt-in option. I think that you should get with your local school board rep to really talk to them about your feelings on this.
Let me solve this right now. Stop it. I don't know how the human race managed to survive for, 20,000 years before sex education came into our education process. But we figured out how to procreate the species, okay? So knock it off. These kids don't need that. How about reading, writing, and arithmetic? Do your job. Give them an education and teach subjects that are going to be useful in life. Teach them how to write in cursive writing. Teach them how to read an analog clock. Teach them how to do arithmetic. 2 and 2 is 4. It's not racist. It's not 4.2. It's 4. Okay? Math is math. Teach them science, the real stuff. Well, and it's not always solid either. It can be, science is very fluid. All of a sudden we find out something that we didn't know yesterday. And that's what your job is. It is not to teach them about sex education. It's not to have these pornographic books, and believe me, they are explicit. They are graphic. They are destroying our kids' morals.
Well, I think the thing about that bill is that the state legislature is the one coming up with this this stuff to send down to the school boards. So if we really want to make change, we need to pressure our state officials to not have this in the schools at all.
And
so that's where this is coming from. And I think that we need to hold our state elected officials accountable to what parents want in the schools.
This is